We have only control over our emotional response. That's all we got. I'm sorry. I don't know these characters, so if you're sad that I'm laughing, I apologize. Hey, I'm James Burnham, and here is my segment where I react live to videos that I've never seen before. And today I'm gonna be watching a segment from Bridgerton. And it's actually a show on Netflix. It's real popular. I know it's kind of a, I don't know, it's like an older version of Downton Abbey, something previous to that era, kind of, from what I understand. So there's relationships and stuff going on. Let's see what this is about. I don't know.
The bag was too large to shoot before you even touched the trigger, I'm afraid. You'll learn. You'll learn in time.
You make it sound so easy. Nothing ever rattles you, does it?
Oh, I believe your mother would have quite a few things to say about that. You do know that you cannot show someone your best without allowing them to see your worst. Well, speaking of which, she would adore those.
Good wisdom. He's picking some flowers for his girl. I like these flowers. They smell good. I don't know what they're called.
Quite lovely, are they not?
Daphne will be jealous if we return with nothing for her.
This bee's flying around this guy's face. It stung him.
Father.
Oh, the damn thing stung me.
Whatever. Father? What is it?
He's totally having an allergic reaction to the bee. He's like,
Help us, someone!
I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't be laughing. But what this reminds me of, there's an old movie called, I think it's Joe Black with Brad Pitt. And there's a scene in that movie. I went to it with my girlfriend at the time, and we're sitting in the theater. I'm probably the only man in that whole theater because it's a total romance movie and it's Brad Pitt. And Brad Pitt sees this girl on the street and they catch each other's eyes and they're staring at each other and they walk, and then he stops and he's in the middle of an intersection. He turns and he's just looking back at her walking away. And in my mind, when that happened, I thought, wouldn't that be hilarious if you could just like smoked by a car because he's standing in the middle of an intersection? And the next thing that happened was a bus, boom, hits him and he's dead. And I laughed so hard in that theater. I was like on the floor laughing, and women were yelling at me, "Shut up, it's not funny." And it made me laugh harder. That's what this reminds me of. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. That's what it reminds me of. There's this guy dying of a bee sting, and I'm laughing, and I shouldn't be. Here comes the wife. She's pregnant.
Help!
Oh, this guy's dead. He's dead.
What happened?
I don't know.
Is it a bee?
He can't breathe.
A bee, I think.
Edmund, you must breathe.
Ow, I've never seen somebody die of a bee sting in a movie before.
No, please don't leave. No, Edmund, do not leave.
I'm sorry. I don't know these characters, so if you're sad that I'm laughing, I apologize.
The other children, they cannot see it. Anthony, go!
It's, to me, extremely fascinating the way life comes at us, right? There's a father and a son coming back, having a wonderful conversation, sharing, just engaging. It's this beautiful moment, and then the next moment, something as simple as a bee sting, and he's dead within seconds. And we live in an illusion of invincibility. We constantly live in an illusion of control. We think, hey, I got this under control, I can do this. And it is an illusion. We have no control. We have only control over our emotional response. That's all we got. That's all we got. Everything else, your life can be taken in a second, your breath can be taken in a second, your limbs, whatever, you can be flattened or you can rise, but all you got is your emotional state. And when you're confronted with it, it's just powerful when you get confronted with how little you control. It's a moment where you can really address some of your most troubling fears and the things that you need to fix. So it's kind of interesting to see something play out like that. I've never seen a death like that on anything.
I can assure you, happiness is not your strength. Exasperation, perhaps, vexation, most definitely. The only feeling you are in fact capable of engendering, my lord, is that of discontent. Do not tell me
stand still,
what
damn
to
it.
do.
No, do not do
This is only a bee. Ow!
Are you hurt?
What?
Can you breathe?
It is only a sting, of course.
Are you certain?
So now the next scene, right? He's with this beautiful girl, I don't know who she is, and she's talking to him, and she's upset about something. She's expressing herself, and she's into it, and the bee lands on the collar of her dress, and he is just riveted on the bee, right? His dad died from a bee sting, and he's just like riveted and terrified, and he's like, don't move, and she goes to wipe it away, and he's freaking out, and she wipes it, goes to wipe it away, and the bee lands on her and stings her. And now he's in an absolute panic. This is fight or flight, right? His trigger to this event far exceeds his emotional state that he needs to actually respond to what's happening on. She's like, it's a sting, I'm fine. But he is in a panic because he's triggered. He is responding to trauma. And this is what happens to us. We get caught in that loop. And he is now reliving the death of his father in this moment. And he is believing, in spite of everything, because of the trauma and the re-engagement of this, that this is going to happen to this person in front of him again. And oh my gosh, that's terrifying, right? He's just like, ah. And honestly, I have a similar thing with this. When I was 2, I was getting my tractor out of our garage. It was spring. I wanted to ride my little tractor. I might have been 3. And my brothers wouldn't get it for me because there was a wasp's nest right underneath it. I figured, I'm a fast runner. I'm going to go in, I'm going to grab my tractor, pull it out, I'll be fine. So I run in, grab my tractor, pull it out, and the pedal on the wheel rips the wasp's nest in half. I was literally covered from head to toe in wasps, and they were stinging me and biting me. They had to get blankets and wrap me up, and fortunately I'm not allergic. But my face, I'll never forget, the whole next week I would look at my face in the mirror, and this, I actually think it was this eye. It was completely swollen shut. My face was all distorted with size and swelling. This eye I could look out of a little bit, and I was terrified, phobically terrified of any bee for years. It took me a while to get over it. And I would panic when a bee came around, just like this guy. I'd just be like, ah, bee! I'd freak out. So I can sympathize with this, even while I'm laughing.
My lord.
No, do not.
My lord.
Do not.
I am unharmed. I am unharmed.
She's calming him down. He's hyperventilating. She's trying to show him the reality. He is just like in this moment. Panic is like this, right? When panic hits you, it is not rational. It is not indicative of the situation. It is our body overwhelmed with fight or flight. But she gets close to him. She puts his hand on her heart so he can feel it and breathes with him, and it starts to calm him down, right?
Losing Edmund was the most difficult time of my life. And the pain that I felt. Beyond description. But there is one thing that has given me at least some modicum of solace. It's knowing that I would still choose the life I led with him each and every time. And I would undoubtedly feel the same pain I felt all over again if I had to, because real, true love is worth it. No matter what. Do not lose her, Anthony. You cannot lose her.
So here is the boy, or the young man now, with his mother, talking to her, obviously about, probably the incident that he had where he panicked, and, he likes this woman, but he's clearly having problems allowing himself to fall in love with a girl that got stung because he's still worried about his father dying. He doesn't want to have the pain of loss that he feels he's holding because his father died. And his mother says, I loved your father. He was the man of my life, the man of my dreams. And I would pick him again, knowing that he would die of a bee sting all over again. Because his death does not take away from the love that they had. And that's the perspective of a healthy, emotionally intelligent person who has been able to process the grief and go through it. This kid's stuck in the trauma of watching his dad die, stung by a bee. He has not processed that grief because the trauma is still there. And so he can't move beyond it until he processes what's going on and deals with those emotions that he is suppressing and holding away. At the point that he allows himself to really feel the grief and the loss of his dad and feel the fear that he felt and the confusion and really get through that, when he starts to allow that to process through his body and deal with the reality of that, the rest of his fear will go away. And he'll be okay with this girl. He'll be able to love her because he'll know that, you know what? Everything's temporary. And you can't base a decision because of trauma. You have to base your decisions from a space of health. And his mom's helping him do that. Kind of cool little sequence. I have never seen a death by bee sting on any, maybe there was killer bees TV shows back in the day. We had all this fear of killer bees back in the day, and there used to be some stuff on that, but it was swarms. I've never seen somebody die from just one bee sting on any sort of television. That was kind of interesting to see. And it was interesting to see a trauma response play out. But we all have things that trigger us. And you can see how this trigger, this trauma, is impacting his life significantly with a person that he loves. So if you have triggers in your life, don't shelter yourself, don't hide, don't retreat. Find out what is making that trigger happen and build your strength so that you can face it without reacting. I am now at a point where I can kill bees with my bare hands. If they come in, I have no issue. I used to scream and run in terror when I saw them. But I decided I didn't want that to be my life. I didn't want to have to be scared of bees. They're everywhere. I have no problem with them now. And I learned how to do that after being attacked in a very traumatic situation for a little kid. It was traumatic for me. I don't know what your traumatic events are, but don't let them keep you from life. That would be my lesson that I learned from Bridgerton today. Thanks for joining me. Stick around. I have another video coming up where I react to The Bachelor. It's a show that will give me a reaction for sure. Like, subscribe, follow. I'm James Burnham. Thanks for joining me.